Before we begin, thank you very much to Changus for joining my Patreon campaign. Thank you so much for the support. It means the world to me. Thank you. We're almost at the end of February, one day to go, and I'm caught up on Patreon shoutouts. I cannot believe you guys kept me shouting out the whole month. You guys have been ridiculously supportive, and I thank you so much for it. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna be. I'm gonna have to do Beast Machines. Yay! So stay tuned for that. And if you want to stick around, I've shuffled around the other shows that are in my episode review lineup. Should we hit other tiers in my Patreon? So they're actually a lot more affordable than they used to be. And I think Transformers Prime would be the next one, if I remember my new order correctly. So stick around for that. And the Patreon benefits, the Discord access, the exclusive stuff, all that. Yeah, no. All right. News roundup time. And this one is a pretty decent week. We've had a ton of reveals this week, some of which we've already talked about, some more than others, but some are worth hitting again because they are pretty big news, and we've had updates since then. So, obviously, the big reveal was someone got their hands on a Legacy Evolution Commander Armada Optimus Prime. I shouldn't have to take a breath after a Transformer's full name, but here we are, and yeah, this thing still looks absolutely phenomenal from every shot and every angle that it's taken from. So yeah, full truck mode looks absolutely awesome. Someone did point out, which is unfortunate, hopefully a little bit of mistransformation, but there seems to be no door underneath the side windows for the vehicle mode. That's a little bit discouraging and concerning. Yeah, you can see there's an obvious gap there. That's weird. I could see that being a mistransformation. I could also see Hasbro just leaving it because screw it. But you know. But you see, yeah, there's 3mm ports on the exhaust, so you can have exhaust that way, or you can have them with blast effects with his guns. That's super cool. Still looks really, really nice in all of his modes. Yeah, it's a super solid looking Armada Optimus Prime. Looks good next to Hotshot. Someone did point out he does have those weird shoulders with the hinge at the torso and the swivel forward. So his posability is going to be a little bit awkward. Should still be pretty good, though. Someone also pointed out how long his pelvis is, and now I can't unsee it. It's like it goes down and like it almost drops to his knees, and it's like an unnecessary amount. Especially considering I think that's just going to be the backside of his shoulder, so it doesn't need the full armor there. It's a little weird. But yeah, this guy looks like it's going to be like absolutely fantastic upgrade and really fun toy to play with. Looks like super solid too. So the Mad Lad who took these pictures ended up doing the full transformation sequence from the original show and recreating the stock footage bit for bit, which I think is actually a really cool touch, and then his blast effect too. It's a really cool thing to do. And also, from this shot, we actually do see, yes, there is some sort of waist articulation to the super mode. Looks like it happens under the skirt, but I will take whatever articulation I can get. There's also a running debate with this toy, whether or not it can combine with the original Overload toy. There's shots of it with the two together, but it really just looks like Overload is resting on his shoulders. And guess what? That's basically what the original toy did too. I don't see... I mean, it's been a long time since I held Armada Overload and combined it with Optimus, so maybe my memory is skewed. But so heads up. I honestly don't think they would do that, if only because it would limit their ability to do a new Overload to combine with this one. But we'll see. We will see. So let's move on to things that we haven't seen on this channel before. A Transformers Tuesday dropped a whole bunch of dinosaur stuff on us, which is cool. We finally got a good look at Shattered Glass Grimlock, which of course is the Studio Series leader Grimlock in Trypticon colors. A lot of people really like this gunmetal gray look on Dinobot. I'm a little bit more indifferent to it. The orange, on Trypticon, there's a certain layout to the orange and green that works for me. This one, it's a little bit odd. It just seems like it's dotted in places where they could fit it. So it's, I don't know. This one is, it's not a wow for me like it is for a lot of other people, but it does look okay. Like, I like that they did it. So they obviously did a really good job of adapting the Shattered Glass Deco onto the G1 design, because of course, remember, the original was the Classics figure, which is a very different design from the G1 Dinobot. But yeah, it looks fine. See, I don't know if the others are going to follow. That would be a long time to get all those out, but it's nice to at least get Grimlock out there. Let's see. And once again, I think that packaging is like the one they use for Jetfire. Like, they do that with the leaders. They pack them into like the super big box because it's cheaper than having a new box printed and ran, I think. Let's move on to some of the core class reveals, because those were cool. We see Swoop, another part of our combiner, and Swoop looks absolutely fantastic for its size. That's pretty much how it looked in G1, with the legs popped up on the back as big rocket engines. And then we get to the individual robot, who looks like he's the least sacrificed of all of the Dinobots, which is really surprising considering he's the smallest of them. I figured he might be risking being the most compromised. They even went a long way to making sure the look is right. You can see where the lower legs are actually molded in the white plastic of his wings, but they're completely painted over in silver. So they did a lot to make sure that that was still the accurate look for the character. I also like how his Volcanicus hand splits into two twin guns. That's kind of a clever way of getting that solved. Yeah, Swoop looks absolutely great. Absolutely great. And then there's my boy. So, as correctly predicted on this channel, it is Dinobot Skarr as an Ankylosaurus with a head sculpt based on his IDW design. And that was the easiest prediction in the world to make, because as it's been pointed out, an Ankylosaurus is the last member they would need for a new Dino King figure. So not a big surprise there. I do like the cleverness of using his Volcanicus tail as the club of the Ankylosaur tail. That's a really cool touch. I really, really like that. And then, oh my god, he's such a beefy boy. He's apparently the medic of the Dinobots, which I don't believe the Dinobots need a medic, but he is a big, buff bruiser of a character. I absolutely love just how, like, beefcake this guy is. Oh, it's so cool. It makes me realize that all the Dinobots are kind of seen as big bruisers, but they mostly have the same proportions and build. So seeing someone come in that has, like, a full, like, proper, like, power lifter build to them as a new member of the team, I think works really, really well, to the point where I would be thrilled to see this guy continue along as a new Dinobot. And that's not just me because I want a leader class toy of my favorite dinosaur. Seriously, it is really just feels like it fills a gap in the team that I didn't realize there was a gap before, which is a really cool thing anytime you can say that about a new addition to a team. Really love it. Really love it. How about some more reveals? So as long as we're talking about Volcanicus, the designers did post basically what Volcanicus is going to look like. They used two Grimlocks to get the effect, so we haven't seen Snarl yet. But we've seen the other 5, and this is essentially what we are going to have for Volcanicus. And for a core class combiner, it does look pretty solid, beefy. Doesn't seem to have the weird proportions that got me like riled up over the Power of the Prime Volcanicus. He looks good. He actually does look good. Looks pretty solid from here. I'm actually surprised Swoop works for an arm out, beside Skarr, because those two are very different sizes. So that one works for me. And yeah, just the Dinobots together just look so nice. And yeah, my boy Skarr fits in so well. I'm really, really happy with how this is turning out. I need that toy. I need that little Skarr now. Alright, we can talk another Dinobot here, because they did officially show off leader class Snarl for the Studio Series line. And just like all the other Dinobots, we've seen them before. But just like all the other leader class Dinobots, the design looks sensational. Looks like everything is well proportioned, big, bulky bruiser of a character. And yeah, it just looks like it's going to have a super clever transformation to make it like nice and clean and cartoon accurate. Speaking of cartoon accurate, he does come with a sword, but no gun. Because guess what? For Snarl, that is entirely accurate to the cartoon depiction. Once again, Snarl is literally the only one in the cartoon that canonically had a sword. Just so we're clear. Just so we're clear. So technically, there's no missing accessories. I do love how they had to create a backdrop and artwork based on his essentially error appearances in the movie. That's kind of funny to me. And then we got the most obvious of retools. We got Studio Series Core Class Ironhide out of the Ratchet mold, and it looks fine. It looks fine. It is that's actually a really nice little Core Class toy. I don't really have any issue with it. This one is weird where they didn't paint the rear windows, so those look a little bit odd. And of course, no yellow stripe again. It just looks so bland, you know? Like, the vehicle mode looks so boring without those extra hits of paint. Whether you do it with the yellow stripe or do it with the light blue windows, it looks so boring. It's just such a flat nothing of red. It looks like a Lego brick. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. The toy itself is fine, though. Like, it's a pretty solid little desktop figure if you want a tiny little Ironhide to goof around with. So, this should be fine. Should be fine. The left field reveal that leaked out was the Buzzworthy or Legacy, whichever toy line this is going to end up in. It is the rumored RID tow line. So here we are in Legacy, and our first representation from RID is tow line. Weird pull. But as correctly speculated by the news roundup earlier, it is the scrap hook mold redone and repainted in order to match RID tow line in his very bright neon green and teal colors. Really do like how different this is. It's a very weird thing to see such bright colors on what is sculpted to be a Mad Max aesthetic. So you've got these little green spikes popping out everywhere. You've got the shutters on the windows that are bright orange. It's a goofy figure. Like, I'm not even like that big on RID tow line. I might pick this up just for how weird and oddball it is. And keep in mind, it's still got the Junkion gimmick, so you can combine this guy up onto other figures. Find someone else who's super bright green and combine away. Yeah, this is a goofy figure, man, but it's a cool idea. Also, yeah, I did want to point this out. So, yeah, so if you haven't figured out by now, these are screenshots from one of the thieves here on YouTube, and in spite of spending hundreds of dollars getting this toy stolen out of China and purchasing stolen goods, they are unable to just edit a photo into their video. So they took a picture of their phone instead. And these are the people that are leading the way in Transformer videos on YouTube. That's disgusting and disappointing. Let's move on, shall we? We're going to go into a block of masterpiece news because someone got their hands on the Bumblebee movie Nemesis Prime, which of course never happened in the movie, but if you are an Optimus Prime mold, you're going to be repainted black and metallic teal eventually. And again, this looks super cool. I'm never a fan of Nemesis Prime color schemes on G1 style Optimus Primes. They just don't look mean enough. They don't look like striking enough to get me as like a villain. This one in particular, the eyes I think are too soft and doesn't really that doesn't look like a bad guy. That like the sculpt on that just does not look like a villain. I can't buy this as Nemesis Prime. The color scheme looks cool. I mean, the black and the teal always look cool. It just feels like it doesn't work for me, but it's there if you want it, because there's tons of Black Optimus collectors out there. One more option for you. It's not a bad looking option. For me, it's not for me, but I know there's going to be people who eat it up. In other Masterpiece news, other things that aren't for me, but we're going to talk about them anyway. Yukikaze got his official transformation video and in-hand images, so we see how this toy works now. As the Trainbots go, he doesn't look bad. He seems to handle his kibble pretty well compared to some of the others. I guess that's the benefit of being the leg, because you don't have nearly as much engineering to work around. And he looks fine. Like, if it wasn't for the price on these things being so high, I probably wouldn't mind picking one. You know, this is one of those that I wouldn't mind entirely picking up, if only for the sake of knowing how they are, you know? But it's out of that price range where I'm comfortable just buying it on a lark, you know? But for you train collectors or for you ride-in hopefuls, yeah, it looks fine. It looks fine. Yeah, and yeah, more. Yeah, I guess we are very slowly getting to see what this toy is actually going to end up as. We'll find out more. So far, that means only half of them are out. Half to go. And one more little quick bit of Masterpiece. Here's what Starscream's box is going to look like for his Revenge of the Fallen release. Nothing too special. It's a standard Masterpiece box. And there is more official in-hand shots of him. Once again, yeah, I am a fan of this look more so than his first movie. He doesn't look like such a big Dorito anymore. He looks like he's got all these, like, he looks grill marked. Like, he looks like a Dorito with grill marks. You know, but it's a definitely more interesting and characterful look than his original. So, second chance to get that one if you didn't get it the first time. Maybe a little bit more interesting look at it. All right. One Starscream to the next. Buzzworthy Bumblebee's one-step changer Starscream was revealed, and it's just a repack. You know, on these, you always hope for something. You hope for, like, you know, a new paint job. You hope for, like, maybe the head will actually be painted this time and not just flat gray. But no. Same old Starscream as last time. It's just a new box. Moving on. Here is an oddball little figure. Super, super jank photography, but that's all that really exists right now. So this is a Build-A-Buddy Optimus Prime, a toy line by Tomy, where you can build your own little figures, like for little kids. So like you get like a working drill with 2 AA batteries, and you just get a load of parts that you can build a character with. And in this case, you can build your own Optimus Prime. And you can build it both ways. You can build it in truck mode or in robot mode. It doesn't go between the two, but hey, you at least get a little bit of something. So it's a weird little kids thing. Nothing too exciting, but for you oddball collectors, definitely one to look for. And I'm going to end on something that I feel like I just have to publicly address because so many people have messaged me about it, and it's third party, which I don't normally cover in News Roundup. But I kind of have to, just so we can actually acknowledge it, and so the messages can stop bombarding me. Yes, I know they are doing a helicopter Waspinator in the third-party realm. It does look really, really cool. I'm not going to lie. It also looks like it's going to be one of those fiddly, lots of panel transformations that third-party toys do so often that I absolutely hate. I cannot tell you how badly I hate transforming some third-party toys because they have so many tiny little panels. And this kind of looks like it's in the same realm, so I will wait for reviews to come out before I decide if I want to buy it or not. Also because I believe this is the first item out of a brand new third-party company, which can be disastrous. So I'm going to be watching with optimistic hopes in my heart, but I'm not going to get carried away and start like throwing pre-orders out. I'm going to wait and see. And that, my friends, is your news roundup for the week. You are officially caught up on all of the Transformer information that is worth talking about for what will be our final week of February. We'll probably get a few things tomorrow because it's going to be Transformer Tuesday. Maybe they'll drop something new, but who knows? This is your news for the week. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.